Okay, let's just jump right in. You know how sometimes, like, one tiny thing happens and suddenly huge plans just wobble?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly the sort of situation we're looking at here with this big 40th birthday trip to Vegas that's coming up.
Right, it's been planned, it's this big milestone, everyone's geared up for Vegas.
hmm A fixed point on the calendar, almost.
And then suddenly,
Yeah.
complications, mostly revolving around, well, the mics, as it turns out.
It really shows how much we rely on those, unspoken rules within a group, doesn't it? How expectations just become solid.
Totally solid. And the first crack appeared with Mike Casper, Bill's longtime, like, default roommate.
Yeah, the go-to guy.
Exactly. And Casper suddenly announces he's into girls now
Yeah.
and insists he needs to room with a woman in Vegas.
Which, okay, personal life aside, that completely torpedoed Bill's plans.
Right.
Because the assumption was always Bill and Casper.
Always, for years. So Bill's suddenly scrambling, big trip looming, no roommate.
It's amazing how something like rooming, which seems logistical, becomes so fraught when those assumptions break down.
So then, okay, plan B emerges. Mike, the Stallion Ford. Another Mike. Problem solved.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
Seems like a natural fit. Keep the Mike theme going for Bill.
Uh-huh. But then Ford starts getting, well, flaky isn't quite the word. More like agonizingly non-committal. Just endless maybe.
Oh, that's almost worse than a straight no, isn't it? That kind of limbo.
Way worse. It just leaves Bill hanging, completely unable to sort anything out. He can't commit elsewhere because Ford might say yes.
Right. Keeps that hope alive, but paralyzes any actual decision-making.
Yeah.
Deeply unsettling.
And the other potential option, Ryan Bolin, well, let's just say past experience there wasn't smooth.
Ah, yes. Issues around gender affirmation assumptions in shared spaces, I recall.
Exactly. Probably not the relaxed Vegas vibe Bill was hoping for, so not really viable.
Okay, so Bill's feeling backed into a corner. Casper's out. Ford's unreliable. Bolin's complicated.
Pretty much. No good options left on the table. And people do strange things when they feel cornered, right?
They certainly can. What did Bill do?
He actually started creating content, like a whole podcast project.
Wait, really? Aimed at what?
Aimed specifically at convincing Ryan Malcolm, who is Ford's other potential roommate, not to room with Ford.
Wow. That's indirect.
Yeah.
Very passive-aggressive almost, instead of talking to Ford or Malcolm directly.
Totally. He's trying this public, weirdly specific campaign, and the reason he gives for Malcolm needing to back off.
Uh-oh. This sounds ominous.
He's essentially spreading this wild rumor that Malcolm has some kind of, curious and contagious disease.
Oh, come on. Seriously.
Yeah, a disease that supposedly causes, and I quote loosely here, men's dicks to just melt off.
Okay, that's beyond extreme. That's clearly not about genuine concern.
Not even slightly. It just screams desperation, doesn't it? Some bizarre attempt to, like, manipulate the situation from afar.
Absolutely. It shows the level of anxiety Bill's feeling about this whole roommate mess. And how it's maybe affecting his judgment.
And speaking of being affected, all this drama, all this mental energy poured into the roommate saga.
Yeah.
It's having real-world consequences. His fantasy baseball performance, it's tanked.
I'm kidding. Let me guess who's dominating him.
You guessed it. Mike the Stallion Ford. The very guy causing all the roommate stress is crushing him in the league.
Wow. That's classic, isn't it? How stress in one part of your life just bleeds over and impacts something totally different. His focus is shot.
Completely shot. So you've got Bill, Vegas trip breathing down his neck, no reliable roommate, and getting absolutely hammered in fantasy by the source of his anxiety.
He really is in a tough spot. Just needs a reliable mic. Any reliable mic, it sounds like.
Desperately.
It really makes you pause and think, though, about those hidden assumptions we build our group interactions on.
Yeah, how fragile they can be.
Exactly. And what happens when they suddenly shatter? How do groups and individuals actually cope with that kind of unexpected shift? And maybe what else gets neglected when we get totally consumed by these kinds of social fires? Something to chew on.